What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Nick from Run the Foot Market. Today I am joined again. We had Foot Economist on the channel. Probably you're going to see this the day after we had him on another video about how to fix some mistakes maybe you're making with your club, and that link's going to be down in the description below. But welcome again, man.
How you doing?
Good. We're recording another video, guys. We're going to be talking today. We're going to be doing a little bit of a market watch because there are so many things going on right now and so many things upcoming. We were like, you know what, we're going to record another video because there's a lot to talk about and a lot of things that we think we can help you out with. Just to kind of put out the video starter right here, a lot of panic kind of going on right now and a lot of events coming up. Is there anything you want to start off and start to speak about?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a couple things that people are kind of getting a little bit nervous about. Right off the bat, and this is probably the one that's most pressing on a lot of people's minds right now, is there's the potential for Weekend League to get canceled this coming weekend. Yep. A lot of you guys have probably heard about it. It's the drama of the FIFA nation right now, if you will, FIFA nation, has been the 4G sort of like Weekend League glitch where people can essentially, it's a no-loss glitch, and there's a good chance that EA are going to cancel that. In fact, while you're watching this, you might even be have the knowledge that they've canceled it already. So and one thing that happened last year, and we're starting to see the first hints of it happening this year, is people sort of panic selling their cards because that's going to happen when the Weekend League might get canceled. And while I do think some of it might be a bit of an overreaction because Weekend League is not going away forever, they're going to bring it back eventually. But there would be some sort of like the economic reason why prices might drop a little bit because no Weekend League is the absence of the rewards that we would have next week. And that's for a lot of players, that is the main way that they make coins, and that's the main way that they keep pumping coins into the market and sustaining the prices of some of those high-end guys like Ronaldo, like Bale, despite packs being opened and packs coming and more supply coming onto the market. That added value that they get from those Weekend League rewards is the way they push those prices up.
Yeah, and I think the panic is really everywhere, and I think we saw it obviously with people selling some teams from the Weekend League. I think. This whole scandal about the Weekend League potentially getting canceled because of this whole no-loss glitch, I think this started probably yesterday on Monday, though. I think we had Sunday night some pre-team of the group stage action going on, especially yesterday. Like, I really started to see it yesterday. It wasn't like everybody was panicking. I would say that more people, just nobody was really buying. It just didn't feel like anybody was keeping any of the cards up on the market. I was getting deals left and right because nobody was really competing too much on open bid. It just didn't feel like people were not really active on the market going out buying teams, and I think that was probably a combination of, I think it takes people a little bit of a time to learn trends, and I think we learned a big one with the Black Friday market crash was that there was a buy time 2 weeks before where Ronaldo was like 1.5, 1.6 in that area on Xbox at least, and I was like, guys, I think it's time to go. Like, I don't think he's going to get any lower, and if he does, you know what, he won't go much lower than that. That's 300K decrease, and you saw that on Black Friday. I think he was like, on the actual day when all the packs started pumping, he got all the way up to like 1.9, I think, like crazy, 1.8, and now he's close to 2 million on Xbox. So I think, from learning that trend, it's my best advice to you that if you're seeing deals, whether it's today, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're going to see this on a Wednesday. So if there are still deals out there and there's still some open bids, I would hop on them just for the fact that team in the group stage is most likely going to push the market up with those great cards like potential of striker Ronaldo, Neymar, Mbappe, Hazard, De Bruyne. There's so many potentially great cards getting into that team of the group stage that EA will release supposedly on Friday. And especially if they do lightning rounds, it's gonna I think push up the market, more coins onto the market, especially if people are packing these crazy guys. And that's when you're gonna really see. I think regardless of, if we don't even have a Weekend League this weekend, I think you will still see some cards already start to go up. And I think at that point, you may be too late. Like, even though there's not a Weekend League this week, I think that if that's going to, that hypothetical happens, like if that is true and we figure out, the day you guys see this video, that there is not a Weekend League because of this cheating, that I think that by the time Friday comes and with the team of the group stage, that might already be too late. If this announcement happens tomorrow, that's the real time, I think, when you're going to see the dip. Like, right when that announcement happens, hey, guys, there's no Weekend League because of this. Stop whatever you're doing and try to hop over on the market and see, are people listing their Vieiras for like 100K under? Anybody who's used in a lot of Weekend League teams, like De Gea, Vieira, Hullet, all those guys, get on the market and see what's going on with them. Are they going down? Because guys, it's most likely that at most they're not going to delay the weekend league for more than 2 weekends. Right. So worst case scenario, you end up picking a Vieira, say you're getting that 88 Vieira for 1.75, and he was selling for 2.1 last weekend, and say he even goes lower next week because there's not a weekend league after, this weekend. Say they cancel 2. I'm telling you, just hold on till the weekend league actually comes back, and boom, he's going to be back up to around that 2 mil range. And it's so important, guys, to not panic. Like, if this is going to happen, and say you invest on the announcement, right, and we're just talking crazy hypotheticals, but if that does actually happen and you find yourself and you see yourself some good deals, I think it's been a big trend and a learning curve this year where when you see the deals, just take them. Don't even worry about what happens next. If you really like something and you see a decrease in price of like 15, 20, even 10%, and you're really like, you've been watching that card a long time and you finally really like the price, my advice to you guys is if, by the time you're watching this video and this is happening, take advantage of it. Don't be slow on it, and definitely try to get yourself a deal.
Right, and I agree with what you said there. I do want to expand on a sort of misperception that I think you sort of alluded to, and that is a lot of what you hear is when there's going to be big events and big teams released, like the team of the group stage, that's going to have a lot of desirable players. There's a good chance EA is going to run lightning rounds. What I think people tend to think, and this is because it happened in like early FIFAs, like FIFA 15, even a little bit of FIFA 16, and FIFA 14, everything before that, is usually everything would go down when promos were opened. And that was because the dynamic back then was different, because you could, people would just open packs with coins that they bought, and the dynamic back then was completely different. And what tends to happen now is, when there's big promos like that, you'll see, unless there's an SBC, of course, you'll see the lower end indexes, the one that don't necessarily have demand for weekend league competitive squads, you'll see them drop, but you'll see the high end, like high demand players, they'll rise because more people now have a lot of coins, because they've just gotten a lot of coins from opening up packs, and that's the thing that pushes those players up. So that plays right into the thesis that you just kind of outlined there, Nick. Couple other things, a couple other sort of like interesting movements to keep track of. The cheap 83s have actually come way down off of their highs from the Black Friday. You were going for 3,400. They're all the way down to 1,600 again. Yep. So if you have coins and you're not gonna, you don't have the capacity to do some of the investments, the high-end investments that Nick was talking about, those are the kind of things you can get back into, restock your club, because there is an off chance that they're going to do a team of the group stage SBC. While there is a relatively strong case being said that they're not going to do it because they didn't do a team of the group stage SBC for the group play team of the group stage that they released last year. They did do one for the knockout round. They did like a knockout round team of the group stage SBC where you could turn in a team of the group stage card or 2, depending on if it was tradable or untradeable, and then like a medium rated team around them, and then in return you got a guaranteed team of the week or team of the group stage pack similar to the team of the week SBCs. So with that in mind, that's a potential option, and if they don't pan out, they don't do that SBC, then you can just wait until FUTMas and those cards will be valuable again. Same thing with 85 and 86 rated cards. So they've risen just a little bit since Black Friday, but I still think it's a decent window. If you don't have the capacity, again, to do some of the investments that Nick's talking about, you can do that now. Or honestly, I mean, Nick, you were talking about this earlier, throughout the year for stuff like this with high-end, I think like icon SBCs and stuff like that, you can actually wait until relatively like close to the actual event to actually get in on those cards if you think there's other ways that you could be making use of your money in the short term.
Yeah, exactly. And I think just to expand on that is like, if you want to invest for team of the group stage SBCs, right, and it doesn't pan out and it doesn't happen, don't panic. Don't go on the market and list all your cards, because we have FUTMas coming ahead, which we're going to talk about briefly right now. But we have that coming ahead where last year you had, I think, over 24, if not exactly 24, player SBCs that all needed high-rated squads, at least 83 plus with team of the week informs. And you have a limited time to do them, so the demand is huge for those 24 hours, and it pushes up player prices like crazy. So in the midst of all FUTMas, which we're going to briefly talk about right now, we're also going to likely have an icon SBC. I think it falls on the 18th or the 20th. I don't know. somewhere in the last 2 weeks of December, I think we're due an icon.
14th.
14th, okay. Yeah. Maybe the 14th. So 14th, if it's not the 14th, it will be the 21st probably, where that's going to see your usual... on the first day, you're going to see most of the at least 86, 87s, 88s. Those will probably bump up just because of the high ratings. You see it every icon SBC. It does not change. Right. They keep requiring high-rated squads. flat out like 87 rated squad, and some of them have chemistry. So if you want to invest that way for that coming up, I would say there's guys like Bonucci, Buffon, those guys who link because you do need 55, 60 chemistry in some of these very high rated squads. Those guys get the most demand rather than a look of, I don't know, another guy who's like an 88 that, doesn't have a great nation link or something. Maybe he's really hard to link. That's something to keep in mind with some of those guys. Could be just better looks, and also because they're good players in the game, they may just naturally rise for a weekend league, so that's a safer investment. And talking about the 83s and 84s, like they will totally, if we do get FUTMas SBCs, they will totally be needed during that promotion. It's
especially
one of the most exciting
good chemistry, right? If they have really good like leagues and nations, that's a great look. Yeah,
and I think I did a video on the channel, and I know you know about this, but FUTMas last year, if you guys weren't around, just to give you a brief thing, last year they did 3-player SBCs. I think the player's jersey number that he wears on the field, correlating to the day of the the day that they're going to release the SBCs on. So if it's the 16th, they're going to do 3 players with. Well, they did last year 3 players with they wear the number 16, and then they do. This is the most interesting part about it was, I remember last year when they did Aubameyang. They did like 87 rated squad. I think you needed 1 inform, and it said minimum players from the Bundesliga 11, and then it said minimum players like from Gabon, where he's from, you needed 1. So you literally needed to turn in Aubameyang because of, I think he might not have only been the only player from Gabon in the league. I think he was, but if he wasn't, you also needed an 87 rated squad, so you literally had to use him. So I would say this is that make sure you guys, when you guys are picking up 84s, 85s, 86s, 87s in anticipation for FUTMas, try to pick them up from top 5 leagues. The chances are that we will be getting somebody like, Dybala, Aubameyang. I was looking into it with a buddy the other day. I think Boateng could potentially get one this year.
Right.
I think he falls, I don't know the number, I think maybe 20th or 21st. But he could potentially get one this year. And I would say don't invest for the player, guys. That's not what I'm getting to. I'm getting to invest in 84 pluses, probably in top 5 leagues. Bundesliga, Premier League, those are probably safer investments. To the point where, for me at least, I don't know about you, but for FUTMas, if the promotion happens like we saw it out last year, like they do run these player SBCs, I'm most likely going to go against one of my rules that I always tell people, and I'm probably not going to sell on the hype just because we have 8 days of potential requirements. Like, say you're invested, right, in 84 rated informs, or you have a ton of 85s from one league. I would say, Vegas would probably tell you that one day there's 3 of these players every day, and you have 24 potential players that could use your investments. I would say that it's probably at least one time you're going to see your investments probably skyrocket down FUTMas. It's such an exciting time.
Right. And you can think about it too, in the sense that when we get those Team of the Week SBCs, it's not immediately that the 81s through 83s jump up. I mean, it takes them a couple days of the actual SBCs being there to sort of get to the point where they're out of people's clubs. Like, people aren't just turning in the stuff that they have in their club already, and they're going out on the market and buying things. I think the same thing is going to happen during FUTMas, because we have multiple days of these SBCs. There's going to be relatively high-rated squads coming out, player SBCs coming out every day, assuming they do the same thing they did last year.
Yeah.
And that's going to initially, there's not going to be the demand to sort of catch the supply, if you will, of a ton of investors listing it on the same, the first day. So, be aware of that fact and know that even if it doesn't go up the first day, you can just hold and then hope that they're going to rise towards the end of the promotion.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think that's mostly everything. I'd say if there's any panic right now, I would expect the market to probably go up in the next few weeks after whatever is happening right now with the weekend league. Just whenever all this stuff passes in the next few days, I would expect the market to full force probably continue to go up through December. I'm not really expecting a crash unless we get massive promos for FUTMas, but even that should probably push up the market even more. And I think, I'm going to get Foot Economist on here towards probably another time next week or the end of December. Maybe we'll get him on for some FUTMas things, but I think especially you're going to see him on this channel, and maybe we'll get him into the stream, but we're going to start to be talking in about 2 to 3 weeks. Probably talking about one of the biggest times of the year besides FUTMas is Team of the Year, which follows right after it. And we're going to talk about probably how to prepare you guys, talking about market predictions for the crash. I don't want to get into that in this video because it is a little early, and I know that the second you and me start talking about a potential crash, we're going to go on for another 30 minutes.
Right.
So I appreciate you coming on the channel again, man, and thanks for helping out.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Nick.
All right, guys. Again, his links will be in the description down below. You've seen enough of them. Now you're seeing them 2 days in a row. So I do appreciate you guys watching the video. Like if you guys enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new. And leave a comment down below if, again, you enjoyed the video. I appreciate all the support lately. Make sure you guys go follow him. He's a great dude. And that's the video, boys. Peace.
Peace.
Catch